Welcome back to the second part of this 4-part series. I really hope that you enjoyed the first part and that I didn't speak too much and that everything was clear because I know I did speak quite a bit. If you want to see more of this video as to why I set up blog differently and you want to see the other two videos that are coming up next week, make sure to hit that subscribe button and let's get chatting. Courtney and I are not full-time bloggers as many of you have suggested before, especially friends and family. I have a full-time job which is a typical 9-to-5 job. I also have a part-time job which I've mentioned before, and I work 7 days a week. My husband works in retail, and for any of you who've worked in retail before will know that it is long hours. Or sometimes my husband will only come home at 8 o'clock, or he'll work like 11 days straight and then I have 1 day off and then work again. And now that he's in sort of a manager role, he gets 1 weekend off a month, and that's that 1 weekend that Courtney and I explore a different town. It's our time also for ourselves, and I do, you know, kind of work in a way. I take pictures and I go to all these places while I'm there for the weekend and I share it with you guys. So that's kind of our life. When we started the Marthinus-Hans brand and was really sort of diving towards just small towns and wanting to explore all the small towns in the Western Cape, we never thought of making money from it. There was never ever talks about, oh, we need to do this and that and to pull in here and to work with this one and how we're gonna make money. It was never ever like that. But then again, I came from a place of privilege because I already had 2 jobs when this whole brand was established, and my husband had his own job, so we basically have 3 incomes coming into the household. Also, majority of the bloggers or influencers or content creators in South Africa, there's only a handful of them that have made this a full-time career. But the majority of us, we all have full-time jobs, or the ones that I have spoken to or know of, we all have full-time jobs, and so blogging is their side hustle, another job where they can get in income. I personally do not like a freelance lifestyle where you get drips and drabs of money coming in. I like my income to be fixed so that I know every month I get X, Y, and Z, and this is where my money is divvied up to. If you've watched my finance videos, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So majority of them, blogging is their second hustle, their second job where they can get a little bit of extra money coming into the household. That is normal and everybody would like that for themselves. But my second job, or my second hustle, is my second job. If my second job were to fall away, 100% I would make my blog my second hustle, and I would try and put as much energy and work into standing out and working with brands and approaching them. In this present time, or the last 4 years that I've been sort of a travel blogger, I have not been approaching brands, establishments, tourism boards, anything like that. 100% they are coming to me, and that's because my time is so limited in what I can work on towards my blog. I'm prioritizing my 2 jobs that pay me every month first, and then whatever little time I have left for my hobby, my passion, I put into that. Basically 100% of the time, brands, PR companies, they are approaching me. They probably saw me on one of my social media platforms, maybe someone has referred them to me, and that's how how I work. 98% of the time, Courtney and I pay for every single thing ourselves. I would say 1% of it is gifts, meaning that, and gifts usually are when a PR company sends me something, and this is mostly where I get my wine from. So that will be a gift. Whatever that call of action is, if the brand is saying, okay, I'm gifting you with this bottle of wine, please can you take a picture for our social media, on your social media. And there's no call to action, you decide as a blogger what you want to do with it. 1% of that is gifts. 0.5% of it for me is trade exchanges. What I mean by trade exchanges is that establishment, for example, will ask me, hi Stephanie, can we collaborate, stay at my establishment for free in exchange for a review. That is a trade exchange. I don't personally charge for that. Other bloggers might do it. Again, I am different, each blogger to their own. I don't do that unless it's like maybe a 3-day thing and they want me to do this, that, and there are little add-ons that they want. I'll definitely charge them for it. But if you're asking me, hey Stephanie, can you come and stay here for a night, 2 nights in exchange for that? And I will say yes. That's basically what I do. And then the other 0.5% is sponsored, where I do get paid for stuff. For example, I did a massive campaign 2 years ago with Muscle Bay Tourism. They gave me the brief, they paid for every single thing, and they paid us in exchange for blog posts, in exchange for all the pictures that we took in, and all the tweets and Facebook posts and Instagram posts and everything they wanted us to do under the contract that they have given us. That was paid for. Another example is the Stellenbosch Wine Festival. The PR company approached me. They said that they asked me to do X, Y, and Z, and I gave them a price. That's what I did. But that's only 0.5% of the time. Most establishments who have approached me themselves, for example, like Andrew's Wine Estate in Wellington, they actually approached me in 2018. Unfortunately, I couldn't go in that year, but I went last year, June of 2019, and they asked me to stay there in exchange for me to write a post. And I also did a giveaway, and I chose to do that for free. Other bloggers might charge to do that extra add-on. Again, each blogger to their own. So that's how I work at the moment. Because I work in a corporate environment, I only have 15 days of leave. And my husband, he works in retail, so their leave is so different. My husband has like 30 odd days of leave available, whereas I have 15 days, and I have to work within those 15 days. There has been where I would ask for an odd day off and they will let it slide because we've got that relationship already. I've been there at both of these companies for 5-6 years, so they know about my travel blogging and my wine photography and everything like that, so they're fully aware. But I never take advantage of it because at the end of the day, they pay me. That's my contract. That's what stipulates in my contract or my employment contract. In the beginning of January, Courtney and I kind of sit down and we lay out what towns we want to explore, and then we hand those dates in. Well, I do, my Courtney doesn't, but I send both my employers a list of what my leave days look like for the year. And I do say at the end, it's subject to change, because there are times where an establishment will randomly just ask me to come and stay there without having a date. So they'll just tell me, okay Stephanie, please come and stay here, you choose the date, which is amazing because I can decide, okay, maybe in 3 months time I will have time to go to that place. And that allows me to really move my dates and figure out everything else. And it's because of our full-time jobs that a lot of brands or establishments who do approach me and say, Stephanie, can you do this? Stephanie, can you do that? Can you work with me on this? I have to say no because of my 2 job priorities and the limited time and leave days I have available. So there are those things, and that's why I say I work differently, because they might have a marketing strategy in place. They might say influencers need to come on these certain days. That doesn't mean that I am going to allow a PR brand or I'm going to allow an establishment or a tourism board to take advantage of me. I think you as a content creator, an influencer, you know what you're worth and also what you're willing to give. So if you decide you want to work for free, that is your prerogative. You can decide that. You know how much time and effort it puts into creating content and how much time it's going to take to fulfill the brief of what the client is asking you to do. And sometimes you'll say, listen, X, Y, and Z, this is what you want. I'm going to give you a prime example. This PR company wanted me to do specific things for this brand. I was really excited about it. It's a brand that I've always loved, and I love what they stand for. And so when they approached me, they wanted to reserve the rights to use my images. So for anyone who knows this will know that I put 100% into my images, whether I did something for free, whether it was a trade exchange that I didn't get paid for. I really put a lot of effort into my images. And so I was like, whoa, if you can even reserve the rights to use my images for a year, 2 years, I'm really gonna have to charge you for this. And I do have a rate card, and I do package deals where I say, okay, for X amount of money I can do a blog post, I can post on my 3 different social media platforms, and this is what I can give you. If you want to reserve the rights to use my images, it's going to cost you X amount of money. And they were okay with it. Unfortunately, the campaign had to be paused because of the liquor ban, but that's a prime example of what it is. Another example would be a PR company approached me and they said they were going to give me free tickets to do the Stellenbosch Wine Festival. What are my rates for this? And that they want a blog post, they want me to do stories. They gave me a list of things and what I would charge for that. So I would have to sit down and think, okay, what am I going to charge for this? So that is part of the 0.5% where I do get PR companies or agencies approaching me and saying, what is your rate card? What will you charge for me to do X, Y, and Z? If it's just one thing, if it's just one blog post, in most cases I do it for free. Also, the nature of Courtney I's blog, or the StephanieMartinez.com blog, is that we're going to small, remote towns. A lot of these towns do not have budget for me to come and eat a free meal at a farm store in exchange for some pictures or a mention on my social media. Like, that's honestly, we cannot expect that from a small town like Elam or Goedverwacht or Witstrand. There's no way Oudtshoorn or Mossel Bay or Paternoster, those really touristy popular towns where you can approach maybe the tourism board, the tourism office, an establishment, you know, this is what I can do, X, Y, and Z. I don't go that way. I do have really good relationships with Oudtshoorn and Mossel Bay, I really do, and we've worked so well in the past, and I appreciate our relationship. And a lot of us do have those relationships with a lot of brands, a lot of establishments. Very shocked when my one friend, I actually phoned him and I asked him for advice, like what would he typically charge, and he said he's got a massive following and he said he doesn't charge for any of the stuff that he gets sent. And I was like, whoa, like I was really taken aback because he's got like triple the following of me on Instagram, and that's what he decided, each to its own. So I'm not gonna sit there and say, oh, every blogger, content creator, influencer needs to not charge for this stuff. There's a fine line where you're like, okay, whoa, you're asking me to do all these add-ons. I think I'm gonna have to charge you for my time. But this is something that Courtney and I at the moment, because this is unfortunately the way it works because of the nature of my job, the nature of my husband's job, and the way our schedules are kind of run, and also the time constraint of me having 15 days of leave, not being able to be told today for the next week come and stay at our establishment. That is how I work and how I choose to work. So I hope that kind of makes sense. I know that this video was kind of all over the place. I do have 2 questions that were asked on my Instagram, so I'm just gonna put it up quickly. Are you an influencer? I actually had to sit back and I'm like, whoa, I'm actually an influencer in a way, because whether I like that terminology or not, I'm influencing you to go to these small towns. I'm changing your perception for you to think, oh, you know, maybe you like luxury travel, but let me try self-catering, because you know I am such a self-catering type person. That's my preferred accommodation, and I am kind of trying to influence you in a way to go and do road trips more. So in essence, I am an influencer, whether I like the word or not. I am in a way, because I'm trying to change your mindset into going to small towns rather than going overseas. Not that I'm telling you you can't. I would love to go overseas one day. Yeah, I would definitely call myself an influencer. And then the other question is, do you get free holidays for beautiful places you normally post? Like I mentioned, 98% of the time, the things that I post or I talk about, my husband and I pay for everything ourselves. If there is something that I've had a trade exchange where I stayed by someone's resort or B&B, whatever it may be, I'll definitely say it's a trade exchange. It'll be a hashtag trade exchange, or I'll say it's sponsored if someone had paid me to go and stay there. I must say, and I'm saying this for myself, I actually prefer paying for something and not knowing that they know who I am and what I do and what I write about, because sometimes bloggers can be a little bit biased in a sense that because they've allowed you to come and stay there for free, they will write this amazing post. And I want to give a really good example of something that what happened in the past. A blogger I stayed at this place for free, and she allowed us to stay there for the weekend. She also set up us to go and eat at certain places. And when I spoke to this blogger, she and I had the same sort of conversations that we didn't enjoy the place that we stayed at. I also wrote a letter to the owner explaining it's got potential to grow, because what happened at this place was that they didn't upkeep it in the way that they should have. So there was mold and rust and like plaster was coming off, and if I didn't enjoy staying there, why would I write something and make you stay there as well if I didn't enjoy it? So the blog and I spoke about this, and she and I both agreed that we did not enjoy the stay. So I wrote about it, and I wrote that it's got potential, that it most definitely is a place where but they need to really maintain the place in order for it to be thriving and enjoyable. And the blog then did her review, which I had read, and she wrote the most loveliest things under the sun. And that was not something that she and I spoke about, because she said exactly the same views that I had about this establishment, and then she wrote something so amazing and so different from what we had a discussion about. And that really made me like think, whoa, I don't trust anything that this blogger puts out anymore, simply because I feel like she was trying to please the owner because they had given us this free stay. But at the end of the day, if you didn't enjoy the stay as a blogger or as a content creator, you need to really say that in your post. Whether the owner likes it or not, I do think that you need to give a heads up to the owner and say, whoa, I didn't enjoy this and I didn't enjoy that, and this is what's gonna come out in my blog post. And if they ask you not to post it, they can tell you that. But if not, go ahead and post it, because not everything can be sunshine and roses, you know. There's a lot of places that I had stayed at that I paid for myself on my Northern Cape road trip that I did not include in my blog post because I didn't enjoy those places, which I again in return had paid for myself. If I didn't enjoy it, why would I expect you guys to enjoy it as well? To answer the question, no. There is a 0.5% chance where I do get to stay for free, but it's in exchange for me to write about my experience. I prefer me paying for the stuff, but then again, I'm talking from someone who's got 2 incomes and not someone that's got 1 income and it's making blogging a second side job hustle. And I hope that this video made sense and makes you understand where I come from as a blogger myself or content creator, and why I blog the way I do. Excited to do the next video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.